Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, thank you so much for coming, Joel. I'm very excited to have you as my first guest.
Cheers.
Cheers. We are going to talk today about improv and stand-up because you do both of those.
I enjoy both of those.
We met, how did we meet?
Riverside Community Players, the theater in the round, in Strike Up the Band, the musical.
When did you start acting?
I've been performing ever since elementary school. And then I got involved with theater arts in middle school from an elective.
Have you had other training for acting?
I have, through Riverside Community College. I had been doing improv throughout high school. I made it onto the Comedy Sports High School League. Oh yeah.
So Comedy Sports, based in LA, they have high school groups
which are taught by coaches from the actual professional comedy sports.
Okay.
So they go out and teach. I've been doing that throughout high school, and then I made it onto the college team. This is my third year on the college team. There's also an article online of like the most renowned improv groups, and Comedy Sports was one of, I think it was 8 of the top 10 in the United States.
Why did you choose to start doing improv?
Oh man, it's really fulfilling. It makes me feel whole. It's so supportive and loving. It's like a family because the rule that's ingrained into you is yes or yes and, yes and. That you can do no wrong. People are so scared of it because you're making things up on the spot, but there's nothing to be scared of. You can literally die on stage, and that's like the worst thing that can happen.
Okay, the thing that scares me for improv is, yes, because you're making it up on the spot, but it's because what if I can't think of anything to go along with this? Like, I have no problem saying yes and, but it's like my brain doesn't work that fast. To create a story, that's what freaks me out.
There are a lot of rules for narrative, like who, what, where, and then conflict resolution tactic. That's pretty much all you need to know. Normally, your first thing that comes to you is genuinely the right thing, so you want to go with your first instincts. And the what is the promise of the scene. What's good for good scene work is two opposing wants, not conflicting wants, but opposing wants. Status is another thing that's important for improv. That's what's enjoyable to watch.
So wait, you said button and tag. Are those interchangeable?
They're interchangeable. Same thing.
Have you used those improv skills in your regular shows?
I thought you were going to ask in real life, and I was really excited. I don't know. I've since I've been doing more improv as of late, I haven't. I mean, I'm sure I would be able to incorporate it, especially when it comes to relating like personalities of different characters or inspirations for how to choose like how I'm going to
make
respond.
A choice in in the moment.
Yes, I would be able to use like improv.
It's especially good if something goes wrong. So tell me about how you've used it in life.
But mostly it's like the yes and that is ingrained to me so much, and it even is so infused in my personality. I actually get upset when people deny me, like when people because on stage it doesn't become a successful scene when someone says no.
Yeah.
Whenever I ask my friends to go, like just last night I go to karaoke. Come to karaoke with me, and more recently, like some people have gone, and I really appreciate my friends that do go with me. But like when someone says no, or like when someone says I don't do it,
I would go and watch and laugh, but I would never get up there.
If someone asked you to go up there with them, if I was like Violet, what's one song that you go crazy for?
For you, I might.
Yes, cool.
I don't like people hearing my voice, which is why I don't do karaoke.
Oh,
it's why I did ensemble, but
I think it doesn't matter what other people think. As long as you're not intentionally like trying to make people mad, as long as you're enjoying yourself.
Thank you. I've written a ton of blogs about that, which is something I try to do. Like, I can do that on stage as a character, but not in real life.
That's like one of my mantras, is like not to let your thoughts of other people's thoughts affect what you do. So I think karaoke would be character building for you.
In an awful mood, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight.
You also do stand-up.
Yes, I've been trained from Tom Clark, who was on Last Comic Standing and Comedy Central Presents, and is also involved as a pro team member on the Comedy Sports LA professional team. Stand-up gigs in LA through Flappers, out in Murrieta with Shamrock, And down in San Diego, I don't remember the name of the place, but I actually got paid for that gig.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing stand-up?
Oh, 2 years, but I haven't been as involved in the scene as much as I'd like to. I feel like it can be, the environment isn't as supportive as like the improv scene is, because improv is like a family.
One versus many.
Yes, and it can be degrading, like if the people are just talking about things that they're mad about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, like from the experience that I've had, a lot of people are unhappy people that are talking about things that make them unhappy.
Stand-up comics are unhappy people?
Yes.
So you were saying earlier, before we got on camera, that 3 things that you talk about when you're a comic?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember what the third one was, but a simple way for generating stand-up material is just talking about something that you love or hate, or something that you're passionate about, something that you know about.
Yeah, so love, hate, or passion.
I discovered through the stand-up classes with Tom Clark is that the more you talk it out with people, the easier it is to direct how the humor comes out.
But when you do stand-up, you planned yours.
Yes.
Do you ever improv it?
Yeah. It's called crowd work, and that's where you just take either suggestions from the audience or use the people in the audience as your humor. Yeah, and I think I would enjoy that more than like regular stand-up, because then you're like working with the audience rather than separated from them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that you can delve into when it comes to the type of routine that you're doing. Like you can do physical, or you can start going deeper into the storytelling. Like you could have did the bird's point of view, and like they're like, okay guys, here comes the car. We'll
This
do
one
this
looks
in
like
practice.
a good one.
Yeah. You're generating material by talking about something that you know, and then the punchlines aren't necessarily like, so then it was really funny, right? And then like you try and pulling for laughs. It's more of like being conversational.
So a stand-up comic does not have to be comedic.
No, and especially if you're trying to be funny, that's when it flops even harder, is because it needs to feel conversational.
I say that a lot about comedy shows, because I think so many people try to find the comedy in a play, in a script, and then they try to play that up, and that has the opposite effect on the audience, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I think the characters are so funny because they're taking the situation so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the actor can approach a comedy the same way they approach a dramatic role, then it's actually funnier to the audience.
For example,
our show, we're in Cheese Factory and we're going to war over cheese. But we have to be very serious about, like, it's a serious business.
Mm-hmm.
If we were like, we're going to war over
Exactly.
cheese, it wouldn't have been funny. It would have been like, oh, okay, when is this over?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, if it was like, we're fighting over cheese, then
And super cheesy about it.
which we were super cheesy about it.
But we took it seriously as the characters.
Yes.
I agree. I think for the plays, if it's a tragedy, if you take it seriously, based on the script, based on the setting, and the narrative, I mean the story, you're going to be, if your character is serious, then it's going to be emotion evoking. In comedy, if you're serious about your character's wants and ideas, and just based on the interactions, it'll also be really funny, and that's what's enjoyable.
And the same thing for stand-up comic.
Yeah, you're not going to be trying to get the laughs.
Now, does your stand-up inform your acting?
Just on how to be more genuine with my characters, drawing from personal experience to become my character. I mean...
Does it help you also in when you're analyzing the lines to find...
Not necessarily stand-up, but all of performing experience helps you glean information, character motivations.
If you would, give us your top 3 tips from your improv and stand-up training.
I'll do 2 from improv and 1 from stand-up.
Okay.
Yes and is definitely the most important thing. The second one would have to be listening. And once you listen, you can yes and them properly by heightening what they had to say. I think being genuine. Yes and. Listen, genuosity.
Thanks for being my first guest!
Oh, it's my pleasure.